Welcome back everybody to Tony's Top Tips Workshop. This is I'm doing a couple of short videos, one on the CNC 4040 that I received from Sainsmart, and the other one is the LC40 laser engraver, and it's where it shows you actually fitting air assist nozzle to it. Now the first video is the CNC 4040, and this is to just show it basic operation of it doing an engraving, but also to show the fault that has occurred on the machine that I have rectified myself and how I did it, and hoping that I'm going to pass this video on to Sainsmart, because this should never have occurred. But anyway, I'll take you down into the workshop now, and we'll get on with the engraving, which is the first part of the 4040. Right, I'm on the other camera now, and what this is doing is it's at the moment I've got it centered, but I am moving it over the program, and I'll show you then what I do with the software. First thing you do is I've set up roughly where I want to be. That's just the center of the board. I'm going to jog the machine over now to the to roughly where I want the cutting head. So I'll just jog it over. Right, the machine's jogging over to roughly where this is only a test. Now what I suggest everybody does is, when they first try a program, a simple program, is that when they do they put the material down on the board, but once they've done that and you're going to touch probe it, then put another packing piece underneath it, on top of the item that you're going to engrave, and just put it on, touch it, and then remove that packing piece, remove your touch probe, and then when you set the machine to run, it's doing it in thin air. That way you know it completes the program, there's nothing going wrong, and it should go back to where it started. So it's just a safety tip, because when you get into a CNC machine like this, or any CNC machine or laser cut, more so with the CNC, is you need to know that machine isn't going to fault on the first run. By doing that, you're clear of anything. You're clear of these. Make sure what you're doing is within your clamps, so that you don't come across from there to home and that's still down, because you'll hit that. So just be aware of that. I've already run the program, and the program run fine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch it off on the material and then see how it runs. So now what you do is, you must remember as well that on here there's a lead. You must clamp that to that, because otherwise it's so powerful is this that it'll push that through there. So always remember that that's got a touch. You just clamp it onto your cutter, and then what you do is, with you go up to the top, which is your touch probe, your Z probe, and press that. That'll go down, and you'll see it go to a red light. That's because I've set it in the program that it will touch off at that and then go a millimetre above the touch probe. You can take that off and put that out of the way. So that is set now. So if you found out that you weren't going deep enough, you can always, because that's, move that and adjust it. But all this is just a test to make sure that it can do it. And then once you've done that, it's a simple case of everything, and then you send it, and that's it. It's as simple as that. Then it goes. Right, what we're going to do now is we've got that's the pattern that I've got there. As you can see, the pattern. So it's not a complicated one. And then all I will do is go down to the bottom and send it, and that's as simple as that. Just up the spindle speed a bit, if you can manually override it. Now, how this operates now is nothing to do with candle as regards the pattern. I set the pattern in the software, the VCarve Pro. That generates a G code that is then passed on to the candle, which is the software that operates the CNC. And then once that's sent to the machine, it does whatever I've set it in VCarve. And it does quite I'm quite pleased with how it's performing. And if you look at the software here, you can see, turn you around so you can see that. You can see the software where it's changing from purple, from black to purple. That is where the cut head is. So it's just following it now. And once it's all got purple, it's from the outer, as you can see, and now it's on this butterfly. And if you look at the software here, you can see, I'm just turning you around so you can see that. You can see the software where it's changing to purple, from black to purple. That is where the cut head is at the moment. So it's just following it round. And once it's all gone to purple, it's done the outer, as you can see, and now it's on this butterfly. Now it's returning back, it's finished it. There you go, gone back to the starting point. So, as I was saying, what I'll do is I'll move this out of the way, and then I'll show you the. Just set it, because you can set on the software to continuous, and then just move it out of the way. Now if I move this out of the way and then I put another program in, provided I don't alter the zero that I zeroed off when I moved it to a starting point, it'll go back to that point and then start from there and run it. So let's see what the Now you can see a lot of the flower details. It should be fine in that, and that's simply because I've just shrunk the pattern. As I say, it should be 3 times the size of that, and that's only a light cut. Yeah, I mean, it's don't get me wrong, I don't like the spindle. I think it should have been a better spindle, and I am going to replace it with a far better one. But it does exactly what it says. I haven't found any problems with it, with the candle software, Vectrix, and of course with the fault that I found. I mean, that's, I don't know whether Sainsmart know about that, but I will be getting straight back onto them. And I'm just going to put you on pause now, because I'm going to show you this fault and what sort of problems it caused. I'm back. So what I've done is, I'll just turn that a little bit more, is I've undone, you see the 2 screws there, that's 1, 2, and there's 2 at the bottom as well. I've taken those out, disconnected everything. I'll take these 2 out at the top. I mean, this should, why it's like this, I've no idea. As I say, I wanted a video to show, because it's a shame if this is a fault that should have been dealt with, to put out a machine like this with the quality that it's got, and then to do something like that it winds me up. Right, as you can see in there now, that is the motherboard. The motherboard's insulated from whatever's how it's, I think there's 4 screws that fasten it. That's the cover, and as you can see in there, there is the connection and a fan. Right, now watch this. If I plug that in there, shows us power on. Okay, blue light. You can see the Z probe, everybody. Blue light. Yeah, I presume you can see that. Blue light. Right, now that there, you can see there is a metal outer part of the input, the plug, or the it's like a dim plug that's there, and it's fastened on by a nut, and that's stainless steel, or I think it's all chrome plated, and that is all the way through. Now what I've done is I've had to put shrink wrap over that, make the hole bigger so the shrink wrap will go through, and see then that there's a fibre washer. That fibre washer insulates that outer case of that jack plug, female jack plug, to the body. If that was touching this like it was originally, how it hadn't occurred in the first place, I just don't know. Probably we're just moving it or plugging it in and out, and then of course the blue light was on. But if I then put that back on, it was still fine, because this has got like a paint covering. So when I put it back on, it was fine, but as soon as I put a screw in, which made a connection between that and that, which has got a connection between that and that, it goes to red, and you can't use the touch probe. And see if I can demonstrate this. See, red. Can you see it? Now, look, red. Because what I'm doing is actually touching the outer part of that now, which was connected to this cover, which when you put a screw in makes that connection, goes to red. As soon as it's working. Now, it's obviously, and it's on the negative from the input of power, and it must be touching this outer casing. Why? I don't know. Why it isn't a plastic one that's fully insulated, I do not know. But if anybody has the same problem, that they can't use a touch probe, it was working but it isn't, that's the reason why. Because as soon as I took this cover off, it went and worked. You can't use it on the software. The machine will work perfect, but you can't use the touch off because it's constantly showing red. So all I'm doing there is this bottom part of the back cover is obviously fastened to the machine. That's got a full contact. Now if I touch the outer part, which if that insulation in there stopping that from touching this wasn't there, as soon as I put that on, that will go to red. Right, look, it's fine there, it's not doing it. It's only when you connect that. And the funny thing is, when you've got a red like that, see if it's a bit difficult to do because I don't want to short anything out. It's on red now. You see, you turn that, it'll go to blue, it'll flick on and off. So there's something why. As I say, I'm not right happy about that because I need to know an answer why it's doing that. But if anybody else has the same problem, that's the reason why. So when you put it back on, it'd still show blue. As soon as you put those screws in, it connects that to the back part, which is connected to the machine. It'll go to red when you put your touch probe on, and you can't use it. So hence I had to do that. I did order some, in fact I'll get you them, of which I thought they should have put on. I had a packet of these. And what they are now, they take the plastic dim plug, right? So all you do is put the two, what they should have done is that's plastic. You could have put that straight through, connected your cables to it, and it'd have worked fine. But they've used an all metal one, and why that's making contact, I've no idea. Right, I'm back again now. I've just taken it from the other camera. So as I say, I'm hoping this has helped somebody. The machine definitely needs an upgraded spindle. It's quite adequate for light work and what have you, but it's not for any if you wanted to do soft metals or brass, aluminium, or engrave on some stainless steel or anything like that, or brass. It's definitely not, to me it's not powerful enough. And what Sainsmart should have done is sent this out with a better spindle in it. I'm probably going to put a 500 watt spindle in, a brushless spindle, but it obviously you can't use this power supply. You have to have a separate power supply, and then you have to control it through the power supply that you get with this separate spindle. So I'm not bothered about that. I can do that. It's a shame this machine is constructed so well, and I had an instance where when I actually first set the machine up and was trying it, I was using the touch probe. Now whether it because it was going faulty or what, I don't know, but I genuinely think it's because the lead had come off, the red lead. I had the touch probe underneath the cutter, and I touched it once and I thought I'll do it again. So I touched it again. What I hadn't noticed was the red lead, well, the lead with the crocodile clip had come off the cutter. So I sent it to touch. Fortunately, that's why you have an e-stop switch. And I thought it was just going to touch off as normal. I hadn't realised the lead had dropped off, and it started to push itself into the top of the, this is what why I'm explaining it, is because the machine's so well made. It didn't move anything except it pushed the spindle ½ inch back up where it's clamped, and before I got to the emergency stop and realised what was happening, which shows the strength of this and how it's constructed. But to have a fault like that and put a spindle on like this, I think it's I'm sure they've done it to cut the cost down and everything, but it's not forward planning, is that? Because if they'd have put a better spindle on this and it was wired to work from it, this would be probably one of the best for its size on the market, and this is what lets it down. But anyway, that concludes my video for today, and I really hope that this has helped somebody, and I hope that nobody gets the same problem as me, and I will come back to you with a reply that I get from Sainsmart, because what I'm going to do is send them the link to my video, let them watch it, because what was happening with that power supply in there is definitely, on my books, a no-no. So obviously, until next time, as I always say, be safe, be careful out there, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.